It is such an amazing, glorious, gorgeous day. Even though we are in quarantine, it doesn't feel that way because the sky is blue and the wind is blowing. I don't know if you can hear the wind chimes, but I live in a garden home, which means I am surrounded by trees and flowers and bush. And I wanted to take some of the green that I find outdoors around my house and bring them indoors. So I'm going to talk about something that I am incredibly passionate about, and that is indoor plants. And I have these plants in my trunk because I had scattered them in cozy, shady areas around the house for them to get acclimatized when I brought them home from the nursery. And now I'm taking them indoors. I'm going to repot them, and hopefully we can have a discussion about our favorite thing, or my favorite thing, which is using indoor plants as a way to create a beautiful environment indoors. So come on in. One of the first things that I loved about my home when I first saw it was the light. And so the living space has these high cathedral ceilings, but what's even more beautiful is the natural light that keeps pouring in from louvers and through glass doors. And I really didn't want to lose that. And so the first thing that I thought about when I saw all the light pouring in was that, maybe I could turn this into sort of some kind of indoor jungle. So the first step I made was the plant store, and I bought plants, lots and lots and lots of plants. I know many of you believe that you don't have a green thumb and you're always killing your plants, but really having a green thumb requires three things. Well, probably four. Good natural light, even though it's indoors, water, an occasional fertilizer, and the fourth ingredient, your care and your love and your attention. So take, for instance, this pothos plant. Anybody can grow this sort of leafy, viney plant that drapes and crawls. It's very easy to grow. But when you're going to the nursery, what you want to ask the person there is what kind of plant thrives best in what specific area of light or how much water is needed. But really, indoor plants they really thrive by trial and error. So putting a plant in one spot and then looking at it to another spot to see if it thrives there is probably recommended, although I wouldn't do it too often because a plant usually gets adjusted to one spot, and if it's thriving there, you don't want to move it around. So just as how plants come in different shapes and sizes, so do plant pots at the nursery. So make sure that when you are choosing your plant pot, and it can be either plastic or clay. My preference is for clay just because they're so much sturdier and of course a little bit more pretty. Whenever you're choosing, whatever your selection, make sure that at the bottom there are enough holes. This one has 4 holes. It means that when I transfer my little plant into it, and as it spreads its roots and I am putting water into the pot, that the water is not going to collect at the root and rotten the roots of the plant, that there are holes at the bottom of the plant pot so that any excess water can drain out and your plant root can remain healthy. The sun has gone down considerably, but I love this time of evening because it's sort of therapeutic to repot a plant that you've brought home from the nursery at this time. So I have my soil here. I usually tend to keep my soil in plastic containers, and I am going to repot this azalea that I brought from the nursery. As you can tell, it's a little bit wilted. It should not be this way, I confess, but if you look at this, the roots are very, very healthy, and the soil is very compact. So one of the things that I am going to do, and this is a trick when you are repotting your plants that you just brought home, is to put your plant pot into a base so you don't get the surface dirty, and just take the soil and spread the soil around the pot. You don't just want to put the soil at the base of the pot, you want to put it around. And I, at this point, like to take some water, and I like to just put a little bit moisture. And what you're doing is you're creating an environment. Make sure, oh, this is gorgeous. See how clampy it is? It means that the water and the moisture is really coming together, and you're creating an environment for those roots to spread out really, really beautifully. Because as I said before, plants don't like to change their environment too much. So I'm going to just pat that down and then put a little bit more water. The aim is always for the soil to look like this. And take the azalea out, put it down here, smack into the pot, and I'm just going to go right around just hacking my soil in. I try not to break the compactness of the azalea roots, and I'll finish this off by packing the soil around. I can't wait to get up in the morning and see the blooms on my azaleas just in full blossom, just because I've given them a new environment in which to thrive. There's something absolutely magical and wonderful about bringing pieces of nature inside when you're returning home or even getting up in the morning. It just feels special to see all that green around. And now she has a new home. Perfect.